Okay. So I think I'm going live right now, and hi. So I'm Billy from July Life Coach, and the purpose of this video is to demonstrate how I solve mental problems that pop up for me during the day. So life coaches and even therapists or psychologists, just because they are mental health professionals, it doesn't mean that they are immune to thoughts, right? And so they might have things that happen in their lives, and they might have thoughts about that, and it might affect them emotionally. And so, because people are not immune, nobody is immune to thoughts. We also have our share of thought struggles and such, but the difference is, life coaches know the way around navigating the thoughts, and I don't have anything planned. So I just want to share what's on my mind today, and as I'm talking through this, and show you the process of how I approach my thoughts, as well as potential clients' thoughts. And the reason why I'm doing this live and not in a edited video is simple, because I don't want to edit this video to make it look good and presentable. I want this to be like a genuine demonstration of how things can be when you approach the kind of like a life coaching model. So without further ado, so there's a few things on my mind right now, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write them down, and I'm gonna explain why writing things down is beneficial in a second. But these are just kind of called thought downloads, and then there's this. I do them like every once in a while. A lot of people do it daily, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm gonna do it right now. So I wrote down, I feel tired because of lack of sleep. And you normally, when you do this, you would do this from free of distractions, so that you can purely focus on your thoughts. But because I'm doing it for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna talk out loud. So, feeling wise, I'm feeling tired, and another feeling is I'm nervous about being live instead of recording. And I feel pressure about upcoming chores I have to do today. What else? I think that's a good starting point for today. And so I wrote 3 thoughts down. First is, I feel tired because of the lack of sleep, and I am nervous about being live instead of recording, and I feel pressure about my upcoming chores I have to do today. So a good way to know when you're done is, so I had 3 thoughts down, and then I told myself, okay, I think this is good enough, right? How did I know I was done? It's because when you get into the practice of doing these thought downloads, you kind of listen to your body, right? You're like, okay, my body is trying to tell me something, an emotion that I'm feeling. And the first thing that I felt from my body is that I was tired. And when I feel tired, I can, recognize it by that kind of achy soreness and muscle pain that I slightly feel. So because of that, I knew I was tired. And when I concentrate my thought on that, I can be like, oh, okay, that's the first thing my body wants to address. And then now that I recognize this soreness, I write it down, and then I can move on. So the next one is, I felt nervous. How did I know that? Like, when I focus on what my body is feeling, aside from the soreness, I also feel this kind of like heart beating nerve kind of a thing. So I said, oh, okay, so I'm feeling nervous right now. So why is that? And I asked myself the question why, and then I answered by, oh, yeah, because I'm going live. Oh, okay, makes sense. And the other one, the last one is like, what's the next one? Okay, so I feel soreness, little fatigue. I feel nervous from my heart because it's like the way it's palpating specifically. And the other one is like a tension that's a slightly different from how when you're feeling nervous or tired. I feel like a little bit of tension in my neck area. And so what is that tension? And the answer that I got was pressure. Okay, so why am I feeling pressured? I feel pressured because, oh, I have to do all these like chores in my day, and that's kind of overwhelming right now. That's good. And then you repeat this process, and you're like, okay, what's happening? I listen to my body, and then aside from those three things right now, I couldn't really locate anything in my body. So I was like, good, that's enough thoughts for right now. All right, so the benefit of writing this down instead of just thinking about it or like typing things down. Why you want to write it down is because when you write things down and you look at it, it's kind of a metaphor for unloading the things in your brain into a piece of paper. So you can refer back to it. And our brain, right? It always tries to retain information that is relevant to you. So when you think, oh, I need to do something later and I better not forget about it, and oh, I need to make this decision later, I need to, make that decision later. So any kind of like lingering thought about like an upcoming action or an upcoming activity becomes an energy sink, because it's like holding a grocery bag for a prolonged amount of time. Like, you can hold on to a grocery bag, no problem. But if you keep holding on to it for like really long time, then yeah, it's gonna be difficult because your muscle fatigues. Your brain kind of operates in the same way. So when your brain is like, oh, I'm holding on to this, I'm holding on to this, I'm holding on to this. Oh, there's another thought, I'm holding on to this, and when you hold on to so many thoughts, like your brain can't really focus on that one thought that's gonna be important for you. So that's why when you write it down and you have it on a piece of paper, you can be assured like, oh, okay, the brain gets comfort, like, oh, I don't need to remember this because I can reflect, I can look at it and refer back to it later. So that's why it's important to write it down, and the activity of writing it down really emphasizes the kind of like, it's like a symbolic gesture of how the thought that is first present in your brain affects your actions. It streams outward. Okay, so I explained that part, and so now I feel tired because of the lack of sleep. So that's my thought. And now I'm gonna assess whether or not that's true. And I do this by doing a lot of counter arguments and a lot of questions. Okay, so I feel tired right now. And that feels bad because I want to not feel tired. Okay, so one avenue I could take this is, why is feeling tired a bad thing for me? And so I'm gonna write that down a little bit. So why is feeling tired bad? I want to refer back to this question later, so I'm writing it down. Okay, so let's examine this thought a little bit more. I feel tired because of lack of sleep. Okay. Is that thought true? Am I really tired because of the lack of sleep? How do I know that I didn't get a lack of sleep? I recall waking up a few times during the night. I recall tossing and turning just a little bit. But a real lack of sleep would indicate, like, I would remember going to bed at a specific late amount of time, or I would remember chunks of big time missing from my sleep because I was awake during that time. But it's not that. So it's possible that I had a normal night of sleep, but I am just blaming my bit of tossing and turning so that I don't have to feel bad about me feeling tired. So I can blame my fatigue on the lack of sleep. Okay. So what if it's completely possible to feel tired after a good night's sleep? I think that is a possibility because, there were times in the past where I did an activity that was so strenuous that it took a lot of days to recover. So it's possible to feel tired. And the counter argument is also true. I can toss and turn, yet also have a really good day physically the next day. So I'm now realizing that my initial statement of I feel tired because of the lack of sleep is not necessarily true. I'm choosing, but even though it's not true, I'm choosing to believe in that thought because I want to blame something for me feeling tired. And this goes back to why is feeling tired bad? Because, I shouldn't be feeling tired. And why did this happen? Oh, it must be because something bad happened. So if I can go around the thought of feeling tired is natural, then I don't have to feel bad about feeling tired. I can continue to feel tired and that's not going to be a problem, but yeah. So why do I believe that feeling tired is bad? I think when I feel tired, I have a tendency to be a little more short-tempered in the past. And all I'm thinking about is sleep. But as discussed before, just because I feel tired, it doesn't mean that I have to be short-tempered. They can be completely different things. Okay, so and feeling tired. So another question I can ask myself, how is feeling tired perfect for me? What's a really good thing about feeling tired? Well, feeling tired is good because it helps me know. It is my body's way of communicating that, hey, I'm feeling fatigue in this type of area. Could you provide some more blood flow onto it? Or my body, maybe it does genuinely need more rest, and I'm trying to shame my body into saying, oh, you shouldn't feel tired because you should be healthy. So yes, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to shame my body into feeling something that it's not. I want to respect what my body is communicating to me. And right now, it's telling me that some parts are feeling fatigued. Okay, so I am going to appreciate this feeling tiredness. And I'm going to, after this video, I'm going to get my foam roller and try to massage the areas that need a little more blood flow. Okay. Alright, I think I feel pretty resolved about the feeling tired portion. So, on to the next topic. I'm nervous about being live instead of recording. Okay, that was a thought at the time I was writing, but currently I feel less nervous about it because it doesn't really feel like, yeah. I initially, when I pressed the go live button, I was like, whoa, what if like the 10 million people see this and then they all say I'm horrible and like, they all judge me and such. But now, since I went live, I'm realizing that number one, I don't have to look at the metrics. I don't have to look at the chat. I just need to verify that the stream is healthy and everything's going good in terms of like technology. Okay, and even if 10 million people say I'm bad, I know from previous experience of during my coach training that people are free to have opinions, and that is not indicative of my actual worth and actual value. So, for example, if I have $100 bill, and people have thoughts about, oh, that's a lot of money, oh, that's not a lot of money, or like they might say the bill's dirty, or like they can cast their judgment on the $100 bill itself, but it does not change the value of the $100 bill at all. So, yeah, I know that what I am providing through this video can be meaningful to people, and so because of that, what other people think does not really affect me, because I believe in the value of what I provide. Okay, and I think the most important part is I'm in my room right now, and while I'm talking to myself kind of in the like while looking into a camera, I feel really safe because I'm not in physical harm. Like mentally, I am broadcasting myself live to a lot of people who can potentially see this video, but that doesn't feel dangerous to me now because I've kind of gotten into the groove of the video. It's been like 10-15 minutes since I started shooting, so I think this thought feels a lot more resolved. And I want to highlight one thing about this particular thought discovery is that your brain really doesn't like uncertainty. So when it doesn't know what's gonna happen as you click that go live button, and this is my first time going live ever, so it's gonna feel really nervous because there's a lot of unknown variables. Like what if the connection doesn't work? What if the microphone suddenly stops working, or blah blah blah. But as things clarify and you gain the knowledge that everything isn't really that bad. Like what I thought was gonna be really murky turned out to be really this specific thing. As you go have these experiences, you're gonna feel the brain be a lot calmer. I think you may even notice it. Maybe my tone of voice or like my posture changed as I got into the groove of this video. So maybe that's worth checking out later. But yeah, like if you're feeling uncertain about things and you think you're feeling bad things because of that, it's a good exercise to really make things specific. And the thought download can be a really good practice to do that in action. So like, what am I feeling right now? Like trying to put that down in words on paper. It's gonna be a good exercise to making things specific. Okay, now we're on to the third thought. I feel pressure about the upcoming chores I have to do today. Yeah. So again, now because I gained a lot of awareness with the second thought, I'm gonna think, okay, what specific chores do I have to do today? So let's think about that. I need to do vacuum, and I need to prepare lunch, and my wife is ill at the moment, so I need to take care of my wife. And I also need to do my laundry. And I also... what else? I think those are at the top of my chore list for today. So, again, when you think chores, it's like, whoa, there's like so many things to do. It's like, whoa, I feel a lot of pressure. Like, oh my god, there might be some other thing, and your brain immediately goes into kind of like a catastrophe mode. But when you write it down, it's actually like just 4 things, right? And when you look at that, it's like, oh, okay. Now that it's like written down and I can see that it's just 4 things, I feel a lot safer. So, cool. Now I need to spread this task out throughout the day, because I know for myself that I don't enjoy it when I need to do a bunch of chores at once. So maybe that's another thought I can discover for a later time. Like, why don't I enjoy doing chores all at once? Okay, so that's gonna be a discovery for a later topic, but yeah. But because I know my tendencies around chores, I'm gonna schedule it. So preparing lunch, I probably have to do immediately after this video, because it is lunchtime and I need to eat. And take care of my wife, that's gonna be like an ongoing thing. But so I wanted to do like a productive thing throughout today, because it is the weekend and I could use it to rest, but I wanted to do at least one thing that could serve my potential clients, and I think this video is gonna be it today. So because I'm happy with what I did, what I'm doing right now, so I think I can happily spend the rest of my day tending for my wife and taking a quick break over from the week. Laundry I can do when I'm a little less tired, and because I do feel a little fatigued right now. So I'm gonna take care of the laundry in the later afternoon, and actually, maybe I can do laundry at the end, near the end of the day, because I am gonna be vacuuming, and when I do vacuum, I sweat, so I probably need to change out of the clothes anyway. So there's our order. I'm gonna prepare lunch, and throughout the day I'm gonna rest and take care of my wife. And near the end of the day I'm gonna vacuum, and then I'm gonna do the laundry as I hop into the shower. Cool. So that's my chores planned out for today. And the initial thought was, I feel pressure about the upcoming chores I have to do today. But now when I really specify what I'm gonna be doing, I feel a lot more comfortable about it, because first of all, 4 things isn't that much, and I discovered that I wanted to, I decided that this video is going to be that one productive thing from today, and I'm going to take a rest day, so that was also good. So nice. So that thought feels resolved. And before I drop off for today, the last thought that was lingering is, why don't I enjoy doing chores all at once? So let's think about that. So a good way to answer these types of questions, like why don't you like doing something something, is to pretend that it actually happened and see what I feel. Because our brain has the power to imagine things, and when you imagine something really vividly, the brain can't even really tell if it's real or not, which is sort of dumb, but actually kind of smart too. So, like if you're dreaming about something, your brain sometimes has a hard time recognizing it's a dream or not, right? So, kind of in a similar vein. So I'm imagining that I'm doing all the chores at once, and what's coming up for me is that, oh, this is never gonna end, and I don't like that feeling because if it never ends, then I never get to take a break from chores. So it's that I'm considering chores to be this never-ending thing right now. So let's assess if that's true. Are chores never-ending? Well, I think if you break it down as a day, right? Um, you can be done with chores for a day, but it's not gonna like when I wake up the next day, the next set of chores are gonna be waiting for me. So in a sense, it does end, but in a sense, it doesn't. Which also implies that I can declare the end of the chores whenever I feel like it. Okay. So the end of doing dishes doesn't have to be clearing the entire dish rack, but it can be just okay. I feel done with dishes right now. I can just declare that I'm done because I can pick it up the next day. Okay. Um. So if I think like that, my assumption of chores are gonna be endless becomes not factual. Okay. And when I can recognize that it's not a true statement, I have a very easy time letting that go because it's just not true. Okay. And another thing that came up for me as I was saying this is, yeah, I do chores every day, but this is my dwelling and my living environment that I need to take care of because I want the best for myself, because I love and value myself. I want myself to be in a cleanly, well kept space. So, yeah, I'm not really doing it for anyone else. Of course, there are my wife and my dogs, but ultimately, chores can be a form of love for myself and self care. And I'm willing to do that for myself. Okay, that that thought feels very loving and it feels very resolved. Okay, so those were my thoughts of the day, and you know, I think it's been about 30 minutes. 30 minutes of explanation of how I approach problems and how you can potentially apply them into the future. So I'm hoping to do more of these so that you can also see like how I grow as a mental health professional, and hopefully you pick up a lot of these habits if it helps you too. Uh, just a quick reminder that you can hire me as a life coach. You can do that on my website. There are links. You can also find my text-based coaching on Reddit, and of course you're viewing this live on YouTube right now. So if you would like to see this type of content updated on your feed, feel free to click the subscribe button. And whether you are watching or not, I am sending love out and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. As I try to end the stream.